Welcome back to Daily Flash. As the U.S. population gets older, it's important to focus on the positive aspects of aging. Connecting with others and keeping active is the key to thriving in those golden years. Joining us now with more is author Florence and Romano. Florence, welcome back to the show.
So happy to be back with you. Thank you.
This is an important topic. We've been discussing a lot of these kind of angles to this story, including, boomer roommates. So why is connecting with others so important as we age, and can it improve seniors' overall health?
I feel like I had a front row seat for this growing up. I'm from an old school Italian family. My mom's parents, my grandparents lived with us growing up. And so they always said to us, "We are living so long because we have something to live for. It's too much fun here with all of you guys." And they lived well into their 90s. But I understand not everybody is born into that situation. Not every aging population has that type of village. And the truth is, the CDC keeps telling us that loneliness and social isolation is putting our elderly population at risk for dementia, depression, immune deficiency. So, as we get older, it's even more paramount for us to focus on connection for our mental health and also our physical health.
Yet the lonely virus is something that the CDC has said it can actually be worse than smoking. How
Yes.
can people find their village, Florence?
I always laugh because people will say to me, do these people just show up at your front door with like a casserole ready to help you raise your children? Like, what's the deal? Is there a phone number to call? So I thought to myself, it's time we actually did have a roadmap for this. So I created 6 archetypes of villagers in my book, Build Your Village. And each of those 6 archetypes has characteristics, they have their own unique nature. And you cast your friends and family into these roles and you figure out, okay, who's missing? Do I need to fire anyone from the roles that they're in, or do I need to shuffle the deck a bit? But that's how you actually take your first step to figuring out who my village is and where they are and how do I find them.
It's like casting a sitcom almost.
Ex- with just as much drama and all of that too. I always say it's like a movie or a play, so pick your poison.
My grandfather always used to say, always have something to look forward to. Give yourself something to anticipate. What can people do individually to help them thrive at this age?
My number one piece of advice for anyone, no matter your age, especially the aging population, is philanthropy. Find what makes your heart beat, what makes your heart flutter, and then join an organization because what happens there is there's already kind of built in community. It's a less intimidating place for you to be. And also, you're going to be with people that are like minded and have similar values. So it's just a win win. You can give back, serve a purpose, but also find community.
We talked about this, and I want to get your perspective at the top of the show about boomer roomies, the boomer population inviting roommates that are not necessarily related to them into their homes because they've got these huge homes and they need to fill space, and they also need to make some extra cash on the side. What are your thoughts?
I love it. I think it's connection in ways that fill a lot of deep wells. And I think that's what we're looking for as we get older is being creative about the ways that we connect with people. And also one of the hardest things I think for people is asking for help. And this is one of those places, especially the aging population, where they don't want to admit to the loneliness and asking for that help can be difficult. So making sure that we're paying attention to what's actually being asked of us there and what's the benefit for both sides. I have to go back to my grandparents for a second and say that growing up with my grandparents in our home, it taught me unbelievable life lessons that I probably would not have learned if it wasn't for the exposure to them in that way. So think about from the younger perspective and the older perspective, what you're gaining from being in that environment.
Great information, Florence. Always great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you. So good to be with you. Thanks so much.
For more information about Florence Ann and to get a copy of her book, It Takes a Village, a guide to finding joy and community in every stage of life, please visit florenceann.com.